So, it's been a little while since we summoned Azel, and I think it's time to showcase him a little. Azel is our first Grand Battle character in Grand Summoners, and sadly they kind of did miss the mark with this guy, because honestly what even is this guy? For passives, Azel poses some high freeze resistance and some extra damage during break. For his unique passives, the first one is called Prism Pursuer. This will give Azel 4 Regalia gauge every second and 8 if he's at full HP. We will talk about his second unique passive a little bit later, but for now let's move on to the rest of the kit. On his skill, Azel will increase his own art gauge and Regalia gauge by 40, pretty standard stuff. On his art, Azel will reduce the enemy's break resistance by 40% for 30 seconds. On his true art, Azel will increase his own damage by 150% and will increase all ally statuses permanently by 10% with a maximum of 40%. Keep in mind that this is the same as Haruto's Overdrive, and if you assumed those two won't stack with each other, you'd be both in the right and in the wrong. While they do have the same buff icon, both characters will contribute on this buff. You use Azel's True Art once, the buff gets 1 stack. You use Haruto's True Art, it gets another. However, if you have it stacked 3 times already, Haruto won't get it to 4 stacks, because she can stack it up to 3 times. But if you use Azel's True Art, she will get that buff to 4 stacks. Wow, that was quite a lot for a simple on paper True Art. Finally, for his Super Art, Azel will spend all of his Regalia gauge and increase all fire allies damage by 1% for every Regalia gauge spent, with a max of 300%. It doesn't mention it anywhere, but the most Regalia gauge he can have is 300. Now let's go back to his second passive. Azel will empower his Super Art depending on how much Regalia gauge he spent. If he spends 100 Regalia gauge or more, she will increase all fire allies break power by 150% for 30 seconds. And if he spends 300 Regalia gauge, she will increase all fire allies accuracy by 150% alongside the break power buff. As for slots, Azel rocks a 5-star physical, a 5-star defense, and a 4-star heal, or a 4-star magic if you get him up till B7. For the recommended equips, his true weapon is not that bad, but you can use anything really. There is not really a best in slot for this guy as far as I am concerned, but his true equip will give him some extra break power and 2 arts every second. For the defense equip, go whatever counters the boss you are fighting. And for the 4-star heal, if you are running a mono demon team, Demiurge's gloves can do really well. Holy Knight of Fenrir and Keratos for cleanse, or Blessed Necklace for general use. Finally, for crests, break power up and skill city are definitely the best ones you can give him. As for team building for Azel, he definitely wants to be in a mono fire team, this is where you can make the most out of his kit. Matter of fact, pairing him with Chloe isn't really a bad idea. Chloe remains an unmatched breaker, and both can help each other break every enemy with little to no issue. I don't worry about Chloe's and Azel's break buffs not stacking with each other. Since Azel's break power buff is a conditional effect, these two will be able to stack with each other. You could also pair him with a tank to make sure he will make the most of his unique passive and generate as much Regalia gauge as possible. You could also pair him with a healer, as his True Art will not increase the team's HP after getting all 4 stacks. Now, the first piece of content we will be testing Azel on is the Chapter 16 challenge, where we need to break Emperor in order to damage him. To be completely honest, Azel probably made the fastest solo break I have seen on this stage, breaking Emperor in about 50 seconds of the quest. After that, the fight went as you would expect. Slowly but surely, the Emperor was defeated. And Azel had not only the best break, but also the best damage, surprisingly. Now, how about some harder piece of content? Well, I figured we pay Shrine of Sagacity a visit, to test his breaking capabilities. Thanks to Kirisame, no one died, and the third stage went as well as you would expect. And then it was time for the big boy Fonzion. After Fonzion drops to 50% HP and he does his big nuke, we need to break him in order to damage him. After only 3 super arts, Azel was able to break him, allowing the team to damage him once again. After that, there's not much to mention really. Just keep Kirisame's third eye up, otherwise she will die like it's nobody's business. At the end, Azel still had the most damage out of everyone on the team, and of course the most break as expected. For the last piece of content we will be testing Azel on, we have the Shrine of Oblivion. After setting up Azel for a bit, Aldous fell with 1 art to reduce his break resistance, and 1 super art finished the job rewarding us with a level 3 crest. Let's be real, you know damn well that I won't be using Azel to farm this palace, since Est can insta-break Aldous and maybe you can just nuke him. So for my final thoughts on Azel, do I think that he is the next meta-breaking unit that people have just misunderstood? Or just another character for the collection? Well, I think he's somewhere in the middle. Azel is a damage dealer with a lot of break to offer. If his skill was like Stargot Lysos for example, where she increases all allies art gauges over time, then he would be miles better, maybe even better than Chloe, but he's still a decently good character. If you missed Chloe and you got this guy, then don't get bummed out. She will still carry you through most of the content that requires break just fine. And that's pretty much everything there is to it. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like, comment down your thoughts, and hey, if you're new here, why not subscribe with a bell on to never miss a video just like this one right here. And also feel free to join our little Discord server. Once again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, I hope you all did enjoy, and I will of course see you in the next one.